Welcome to Lecture Online. Now that we know how to deal with uncertainties when we add, subtract, multiply, and divide, how do we deal with them when we square a number or when we take the square root of a number? Well, here are the two examples we're going to work with. How do we get the answer when we have a number that has an uncertainty like 0.6 relative to 28.2 centimeters? All right, first what we need to do, just like with multiplying and dividing, we need to convert this to a percentage, which means we take the number 0.6 and divide by 28.2 and multiply times 100%. Same when we take the square root, we want to convert this to a percentage. So we take, well, it's the same set of numbers, so we only have to do it once. That's kind of nice. So we take 0.6, divide by 28.2, and times 100%, and we get 2.1%. So this is equal to 2.1%. Let's just round it off to 2.2%. We'll round it up to 2.2%. It makes it a little bit easier, you'll see in just a moment. So the first thing we do is replace this by the percentage. So this can now be written as 28.2 centimeters plus or minus 2.2%. And we're going to square that. On the other hand here, this would be equal to the square root of 28.2 centimeters plus or minus 2.2%. All right, so far it's exactly the same for both, but here's where we change things. So here's where they're different. Now here we're going to square this number, so 28.2, and we square that, we get 795.24. So this is equal to 795.24, but since we only want three significant figures, we just stop at 795. That would be centimeters squared, because we're also squaring centimeters. Now this will be plus or minus, we have to double the percent uncertainty, so this would be 4.4%. The reason why we double it is the same thing as if we were to multiply this by itself. In each case, each number would have an uncertainty of 2.2%. When you multiply, you add uncertainties, so it would be 2.2 plus 2.2, or 4.4%. We simply say, when you square a number, you simply double the percent uncertainty. Then finally, calculate what 4.4% is of 795. So this would be 795 times 4.4%. And we get 35. So this would be 795 centimeters squared plus or minus 35. And that would be centimeters squared, of course. But since the uncertainty was only one significant figure, we'll want to write this as one significant figure. Then we can write this as 795 centimeters squared plus or minus 40 centimeters squared. If we write it like this, without the decimal place, this would simply mean one significant figure. So this would be 795 centimeters squared plus or minus 40 centimeters squared. Now for the radical there, for the square root, what we're going to do here is take the square root of 28.2. So 28.2, take the square root, that's 5.31. So this is 5.31 centimeters. And that would be, of course, the centimeters, the square root of centimeters, because we take the square root. And in this case, here we doubled the uncertainty in percentage. Here we're going to take half the uncertainty, so that would be plus or minus 1.1%. So here we double it, there we take half because it's the square root, and here was the square. And then we would convert that back to a number. So 1.1% of 5.31, so we get 5.31 times 0.011 equals, that would be 0.06. So this is 5.31 centimeters to the 1/2 power, plus or minus 0.06 centimeters to the 1/2 power. And that is the final answer when we take the square root. And this would be the final answer when we square the number. And that's how it's done.